At CoCoTALK, we'd like to thank the patrons who sponsor our show, so our heartfelt gratitude goes out to Al Hartman, Alan Murphy, Blair Ledoux, Brendan Donahue, Brian Weasler, D. Bruce Moore, Davey Mitchell, Diego, Dinty from Dinty's Hideaway, Disney Saints fan, Eric Canales, Fedor Stamen, Frodo, Glenn Hewlett, Graham Vebke, Grant Leedy, Henry Strickland, Jason Bucata, Jason Downs, Jenna Farron, Ken Reichert, Kyle Etter, Malfunk, Michael Pitsley, Paul Fiscarelli, Paul Shoemaker, Richard Lorbieski, Rob Inman, Stephen Wagner, Terry Steen, Terry Steggy, The Backyard Shed Gang, Tom C., Tom S., and Tim Lindner. Thank you ever so much, patrons. CoCoTALK is an unscripted live broadcast. Anything can and will happen. The views and opinions expressed by members of the panel and the live audience are their own and not necessarily those of the CoCoTALK show, its sponsors, affiliates, or subsidiaries. Open minds encouraged, sense of humor recommended. If any off-color comments were made, we're sorry.
Hi, this is Dale Lear, designer of TRS 80 Color Baseball, and you're listening to CoCoTALK.
Got some time to kill, might play a...
Nightmare Highway. Nightmare Highway.
Sure, I love my Sailor Man and Firefall. Go on a rampage for some super pitfall. Shanghai me into a game of rogue or demon attack. But sooner or later, you know.
Sing along if you know the words. Nightmare Highway. Nightmare Highway. Can't sing it together, huh? Oh.
Dodge furniture, and you'll be a pop star. Well, okay,
Not Lock and Cow is
I
that
just
guy.
stick to the facts.
Never seen him.
To tell this truth, this game really
Here we go.
ain't all that.
Nightmare Highway. Nightmare Highway.
I used to bow down to the Donkey King. Grabber and Cash Man used to be my thing. Megabug, Buzzard Bait, Sea Dragon 2. But none of those can satisfy me much as you do.
Nightmare Highway.
Nightmare Highway.
Nightmare Highway.
Nightmare Highway. Nightmare Highway.
Nightmare Highway. Nightmare Highway. Nightmare Highway. Nightmare Highway.
Where'd that couch come from? Much the horse shit. You don't even hear the horse shit.
Hey, that's my couch.
So you're the one who threw it on the highway.
All right, and we
I
are
don't know.
here. It's been a while since we've heard the song that is just, you can sing to it, it's catchy, you can dance to it.
Song
You
that
can,
broke the internet.
Can conceive children to this
Yeah,
song.
right.
It's got so many purposes. We're here with CoCoTALK episode 182. We've got a panel of panelists that are usually stuck to a wall somewhere because that's what panels do. Panels stick to the wall, but they're here. And this episode is certified horseshit free. We have actually made sure about that. So let's go around the room. Let's see who's here, and let's start talking Coco. In the top left-hand corner, in the bottom of the world, it's none other than in the Witness Protection Program. It's David O'Connor.
Hey, everybody, I'm here from the land down under where we used to listen to Casey Kasem on the top 40, but we don't anymore.
This
I
is
thought it was
Casey
off to one
Kasem.
side.
Yes, this is Casey Kasem, and I'm still dead. All right, and we have our backup streamer and engineer, Mr. Mark Bosley's with us. How are you?
Hello. Shouldn't that have been allegedly, David?
Yeah. We're not here, man.
His name is Ron. He's got a garage. It's Ron Delvo, everybody.
Hello, everybody.
Hey,
I've
now.
seen that garage.
You lived, and you lived to tell about it, huh?
Right.
Yeah.
All right, from the Great White North in Canada, it is L. Curtis Boyle, everybody.
Hello, everyone. I haven't got snow here yet, though. Apparently, the south part of the province in Alberta got a dump, so
Wow.
it is turning into the Great White North.
He said,
Oops.
dump. All right.
Yeah.
Oh, shit strike.
Hey, watch the language. This is a family show. This is the...
What is this snow stuff? What is it? What
and
family is that?
We're
Yes.
all family.
Curtis Boyle's neighbor in Canada, it is a man whose name is so nice, we must say it thrice. It's Nick Maroda, Nick Maroda, Nick Maroda.
Good afternoon,
Oh,
everybody. Good to be
All
here.
right. And hold on one second. Alexa, do you know the way to San Jose?
There are many ways to San Jose. The founders got
Really?
there from Spain by way of Mexico.
Okay, well, this guy knows the way. This guy knows the way to San Jose. It is Michael Furman. Mikey, he likes it. Welcome, Mikey.
I definitely know the way to San Jose. Hello, everybody.
Hello. All right.
Hey, Mike.
Howdy, Mikey.
Recently married and now sitting in the passenger seat for the rest of his life. It is our resident Apple guy, Mark Overholzer.
Yay.
Do you remember that? Remember that till yes, we can hear you. Remember the vows ended till death do you part, and
Yeah, I know. It's called a life sentence.
that's right. You are not eligible for time off for good behavior. So
Yeah, I know.
beautiful ceremony, by the way. Hopefully you guys got to see Marco's ceremony last weekend live.
Yes, it was.
Excellent.
You can watch everything.
It was
Glorious. Congratulations on being recently married.
Is it wrong to have a countdown clock for the end of your honeymoon?
Yeah, I did not get the link to the live streaming of the honeymoon, by the way. So he's breaking up. Mayday, man down,
Matrix.
man
I
down.
think that
red
joke
pill.
broke his connection.
That's it. All right. He is seeing
Took the
into the
red pill.
future. The role of Mark Overholzer today is played by Jason the Coco Man Reichard. Jason, what's the weather like tomorrow?
Well, tonight's forecast is partly dark. Partly clear sunshine in the morning. Oh, and he's...
There,
so he
Mark
takes that
has
visor
it.
with
Mark
him.
has
Yeah,
his vice.
Yeah, he takes that with him. See, I
Oh,
got to start
right.
Oh,
carrying
man, I
one in
don't
the
have
car.
my uniform. It's downstairs.
All right.
Oh, then I've got my Diet Dr. Pepper.
All
I'm
right.
excited.
Hey, we got a request in the chat room for the missus to say hello there, Marco.
Oh, we want to hear from Mrs. Overholzer.
She sent me a community store. Oh, okay.
All right. If you understood what he said, you are a better robot than I am.
I think she's in a different location.
Sounded like he said, "Wop, bada, bop, bop, man, boom." All right.
But it was
Matrix version.
Yes. We got a guy who's got a beard.
Yeah, sorry.
And his name is Rick Euland. How are you, Rick?
Oh, fairly well. You may remember my green leaf crack from last week. Well, I'm ankle deep in leaves today, so.
Oh, wonderful. Ankle deep. That's better than
Leave me alone.
ankle deep in what I said this show would be free of today. So,
Leave me alone.
on that note, he's somewhere in the Las Vegas proper area. He is the guy who made Digger 3. He's the guy who does some cool things. Chet Simpson is with us. Welcome, Chet.
Good morning, everybody. Afternoon and good night.
That's right.
Yes.
That's all, folks.
That's it. And we got a guy who's got a cocoa hand waving at us right now. Alan Murphy's with us. Hello, Alan.
Howdy, howdy. Today I'm more paneling than panelist, but that's pretty par for the course, I guess.
Hope everybody's doing all right.
Doing just fine. From Down Under, the Thunder, the creator of more games in 1 year than has been produced by probably Steve Bjork at this point. Nicholas Morentis is with us. Hello, Nick. Good day.
Good day, everyone. How you doing?
All right, we're doing okay.
How you doing?
Doing okay. So, Alexa, say crikey.
I pronounce that crikey, but I'm always working on how I say things and I might not have it right.
You suck. All right. And last but certainly not least, she said crikey.
Did someone say crikey cable?
This guy has been to Ron's garage. He's lived to tell the tale. He has made some things for the Coco. He likes multicolored wires on his projects. Mr. Paul T. Barton is in the house. Welcome, Paul.
Woohoo. Yay. I'm
Yay.
here.
Sloopy Malibu is here. Samuel Gimes. We actually have the actual Samuel Gimes is live in the YouTube chat. Legendary. Song parodist. The creator of Coco Thoughts and parodying of songs. Samuel Gimes is here. 8 Bits in the Basement is here saying hi to Canadian Retro Things, who is here. Jim Rye is here. Jim has been doing some amazing things, making VCC not suck. And Jim, please come on the show and tell us all about what you're doing on VCC. Love to have you on the show. Scott Cooper is here. Frodo is here. Brian Joyce, Nick's neighbor, saying, crikey, good eye, y'all. James Jones is here. Eric Canales, current president of Glenside Color Computer Club, is here. Nick Marotta, Tom C. from Jersey is here. And forget about it. Nimble is here. Nick Marotta is here. Curtis Boyle, Kevin Holloway, Mark B. We've got all kinds of people in the live panel, and we're here. We're on CoCoTALK, and this is where we talk about the greatest processor on the planet, 6502. And so when
that's something short. Hey, someone blaspheme around here. Blaspheme around here.
I think we just got Zoom hacked.
You just need to know poke for Commodore Basic.
We need that foot coming down.
Foot. Yes.
Commodore Poke Basic.
We've just been joined by AC's 8-Bit Zone and Sloopy Malibu, and David Croker has just joined us too. And so we're going to mix it up today. Because we don't have Frodo says you pronounced Z80 wrong. Apparently the greatest processor in the world to Frodo is the Z80 by the Zlog Corporation. Yes, you guys all know that company is called the Zlog Corporation that made the Z80, right? So
their theme song's by ZZ Top.
ZZ Top, exactly.
Yeah, right. I think I actually went to that company one time.
So we don't have a topic. We don't have a guest. We don't have a show for you, folks. Good night. Good night, everybody. See you next week. All right. So
you have love every week is what you're saying.
Roll the outro. This concludes another episode of CoCoTALK. All right. So a lot of times when we don't have a guest, we might just roll straight into the Game On results, and I figured we're going to mix it up. And today, before we get into Game On results and Game On news, we're going to stir the shite pot a little bit. And we're going to go ahead and we're going to start off with project updates and acquisitions. This is where you can live vicariously through those who have got disposable income and no restraint when it comes to buying retro crap. So
the one time that I don't really have anything to talk about is the time you put it at the beginning of the show. Thanks, Stevie. I appreciate that. I'm hanging around for the whole show. I got something right here, and today it's like, oh, we're gonna do that right away. Okay.
Well, here we can do. I got something. This is what we can do. We can do a shameful promotion of your latest product. How about we do that right now?
I didn't know I was selling a trolley.
Right.
Guess I missed the train.
That's not it. I could have sworn I had your new commercial queued up somewhere. I had your commercial queued up somewhere.
Now.
All right.
Oh, there's the missus.
Oh, there she is. There's Ms. Overholzer in the house. Let's zoom in.
Good boys.
Hello.
Hi, Tina.
Hey.
Hello, Ms. Overholzer.
Hi, Tina. And hello, Ms. Overholzer.
Congratulations.
Tina, does Mark have permission to be on the show?
Crikey.
Crikey.
Don't let her watch it. And see what you do.
Oh my God, that is horrible. Your bandwidth is
Yeah,
horrible.
you got a
Mark.
really
Bad
bad
talker
connection there,
today.
Marco.
Yes. All right. Well,
Matrix.
congratulations.
Apple.
Congratulations to Mark and condolences to Tina. And we're moving on. So I thought I had the new commercial queued up. I don't. I suck. My bad. But let's go ahead and let's see who's got something new to talk about and things to share. Project updates, acquisitions, show and tell. Mikey Furman is raising his hand right now. Very polite of you, Mikey. Well-mannered. I'm not used to that from you California folk, but that's good.
Oh, really? You think I like stirring things up, do ya?
Hey, Mike, we got special long news segment for today, just for you.
Special long.
And since
okay,
Mikey's talking right now, I'm going to sleep through this
it'll be nap
segment.
time.
You need to catch up on your sleep, so we figure we make it longer.
Any smoke around there, Mikey?
Yeah, the air sucks today, but I don't know where the smoke is coming from. Most of the fires are almost out, as far as I know.
Is Tommy Chong in your area?
Yes.
Yeah. Most of it's coming from the politicians, I think.
It's some 6502s around.
Yeah, all them 6502s are heating up the atmosphere.
No, I don't have a 6502, but I do have an FPGA. So this week they decided to open up my office, my place of employment, and allowed us to remove our personal items. And one thing that's been hanging out there on my desk is this is, I've shown this before. It's a FPGA board. It's an Altera DE2. And it can run a
programmable gate array.
But I've been actually using this to actually learn how to program the FPGA chip. And you can do all kinds of cool stuff. So basically, it's programmable hardware.
Neat.
You can write a program, and you can make whatever kind of hardware you want. Well, I mean, there's some limitations, but you know, once it's basically just another programming language, and once I learn that and get the hang of it, I want to try to hook this guy up to a Coco and try to do stuff.
Neat.
How much memory does it have?
I think this one has. Oh, it says right on it. It says it has 8 megabytes. The RAM chips are here. I don't know if you'll be able to see that, but it has 8 megabytes of synchronous DRAM, and then it has flash. How much flash? It actually has 8 megabytes of synchronous DRAM, has 512K of static RAM, and 4 megabytes of flash. So you can hook those up in the FPGA. So Coco 3 FPGA actually does run on this board, although I have never. Did I load it? I don't remember if I did or not. But anyway, that's not what I'm doing with it. I'm learning Verilog. So
FPGAs are such cool devices. So much you can do with them.
Cool. Very cool.
I always thought FPGA was some type of rogue golf league.
Yes, it's the Frog. It's the Frog, a.k.a. French-Canadian Professional Golfers League.
Golf Association? Oh, thank you.
I thought it was a song by the Village People.
FPGA. It's fun to stay at the FPGA. So everybody.
Oh, we're full of horse shit.
We need to get synchronized on that one. We need to do a video on that. We need to get everybody lined up like a chorus line.
Where's the guy?
Erico has joined us in the live chat. Erico is doing some incredible pixel artwork on some really cool semi-graphics looking stuff, and hopefully we got some of his stuff in the news, and hopefully he'll come on and talk to us when he's got some more stuff to talk about. All right, so that was Mikey showing off his FPGA. Who else has got a show and tell, project update, acquisition, story to share? Anyone?
I have a quick project update.
Uh-oh. L. Curtis Boyle, ladies and gentlemen, has...
So we're still working on Beta 6, which will be out in December. There's a bunch of stuff we're still doing with it, but one of the things I am working on right now, Floyd Ressler, who did a bunch of games for Nitrous 9 and OS 9 back in the day in like 1990. He did about 5 or 6 of them. One of them is on the current Beta 5. That's the Magic Stones game, but I'm kind of helping port some of the, or decompile the Basic 9 source code for a couple others, because now they're running too fast. We sped out the graphics and stuff like that, so some of his other games like Gem Quest and Mine Rescue and a few others there are running too quickly now. So I'm decompiling the Basic 9 source code, and I'm going to try to get it to slow it back down, or maybe smooth out the graphics a little bit or do some other little tweaks to it. So that's what I'm in the midst of doing right now. So that'll be a game that will be on, Gem Quest in particular will be on for sure on the beta 6 with the source code. And then I'll send it off to Floyd because Floyd said he wanted to do some modifications to it too when he gets time. Unfortunately, with the COVID stuff, he's actually been more busy than ever with his job. So
yeah.
Anyway, progress of continuing proofreading the technical reference manuals on stage 2. There's a couple changes that we're waiting to get done on that, and then I'll be releasing that probably before Nitrous 9 EOU Beta 6 comes out. So hopefully sometime by the end of this month or early November, we'll have the technical reference manual updated version out for everybody.
I saw you had posted something in the Nitrous 9 group, too, about a patch you released for, was it a debug or something like that?
Yeah, it was a little typing mistake I did when I optimized it a little bit and screwed up a branch statement. So thanks for catching that for the people that did catch it.
And so you're basically saying right now things are so optimized that some things are running too fast. How often have we had to complain, man, this thing is running just too darn fast?
Yeah, well, I mean, things were written back for the original graphics driver system, which was quite a bit slower. And now that we've sped it up, especially on the 639, like it's almost unplayable. You hit the right on the joystick, you can literally run off of a cliff, and fall down and die.
Try 25 megahertz on the FPGA, man.
This makes even though the X at 3 megahertz, it's lickety fast.
Man.
And
this is why PCs had turbo buttons, so you could slow it down, not to speed it up.
Yeah, there's actually on the FPGA there's a switch you can throw it back to standard speed.
See, Nitrous needs the turbo button, so you can.
Well, I mean, in Nitrous, you can go to another window and do the slowdown poke, and actually you'll kick it back to 1 megahertz, and that'll do it. Or you can run the Basic 9 program. It's just in a forever loop, incrementing a variable or something just to slow the rest of the system down. I'm going to try to make it multitasking friendly, which means your other programs won't slow down that much while you're playing the game. That's what I'm kind of shooting for.
Very cool. Very cool. Who else has something?
I wanted to say that I'm working on a game.
Oh,
I'd like to, and it's has a similar name to Zaxxon, and it doesn't really work, so I've called it Zax Off.
You're going to release a source code for that too, right?
Yes.
Zax on.
Zax Off. I love it.
Nop.
And remind us before we finish our updates, Ron. We want to go over some of your stuff that you've been doing in the
I got
Ron's
stuff,
Garage and
man.
stuff. Who else has got something to share today?
Well, I've got some Coco historical kind of things that might be kind of funny.
Okay.
You mean hysterical?
Hysterical, yeah. Can I steal the screen for a moment?
Yeah. Let me stop sharing. You go ahead.
And I will take over the world.
So I want to know, is that Model 1 back there just a picture because it's always there in the same place?
That's the Model 1 that I need to get back to fixing someday, but now that my Coco hobby is taking all my time away from the Coco, much less the Model 1, it just kind of sits there waiting on me. I leave it right in front of me so to remind me that I still haven't done anything about it. So anyway, do we have motherboards?
These look like a bunch of Coco motherboards.
So yeah, back in the day, Connect would buy systems working or not, and I'd try to fix them, and the ones I couldn't fix ended up in a peach crate, which I have recently dug through and found these kind of interesting ones. So here's my retirement fund now.
Not one gimme chip.
Excuse me?
They've all been gutted of their gimmies. Huh?
Oh, they've all been, parts have been pulled from all of these and used to, this is the bottom of the bucket. I put together, 100 Cocos out of parts, and this is the worst of the lot.
Right.
I think it's kind of interesting. The only one that says runs is the one with the massive damage between the ROM.
Oh my God, you had to
That's the one that runs, mind you. That's the good one. So
they're all crying. Yeah. They're all crying out on ABBA They're going, "Give me."
Oh,
I'm going to need, give me X's for everybody.
So looks like you replaced almost all of the CPUs with sockets too.
These were, like I say, the first attempt at a fix back, because I didn't have a scope or anything. So my first attempt at a fix, if it had a border and didn't show any text inside that border, I assumed CPU and socketed it. Except for this one, which has other problems. But in any case, that was kind of fun. And then...
so these are candidates for earrings, right?
Right? Well, you know, now
Little
that the
bit.
things are worth $300 a piece, I'm going to have to look at them again. You know,
Yeah, right.
At the
Pretty
time,
uncomfortable earrings.
at the time, you could get these for $20. You know, $30. Not working. Coco 3. Yeah. So anyway, but I thought that was kind of interesting, and I found this Coco 2 with a composite mod kit on it and the world's oldest temporary jumper.
Yeah.
Wires you might ever see. So yeah, 35 years for these push-on J clips, not a problem. So this is fun, and it's old. So I'm happy with that thing. And then here's a really interesting one you might have read in the Rainbow, that you can pop your gimme out with 2 screwdrivers. Customer tried that. Didn't realize the gimme has a socket around it.
They yanked the socket out.
He didn't manage to actually pull anything out, but he did cut all of the top traces here, here, and here in his attempt. So the shocking thing is it almost works. It works when it's cold. It crashes when it's hot. Here's the opposite. If you only had 1 screwdriver and you tried to pry the gimme
Oh my
out,
God, it's missing some teeth there, huh?
you would swivel these 2 pins right off of it as it angled up out of the socket. So I have a bunch of gimmies like this that I always intended to get out my Dremel tool and work on, but never did. So yeah.
Is that first year or second year?
It was an 87.
This is an 87. Yeah, this would be a nice gimme if it worked.
It's this. Send it to the dentist. It needs a couple of replacement teeth.
It doesn't need those teeth anyway.
Yeah.
I probably did the easy hack where you stick it in and stick a wedge in to make the connections here, and it didn't work. So I just gave up on it. But you know, you get stuff. Repacks. We talked about repacks at once. Here's an old one that I always thought was kind of elegant. This actually came from Brother Jeremy because it had died and we tried to fix it. What they've done is desolder the 40-pin connector, turn it around, shove it back in, but sort of halfway past the angles and the pins on it so that it shoots up at a 45-degree angle.
Yeah, I see that. Yeah.
And that lets you cram a floppy controller in there, and then you just swivel the power thing to one side, and then it goes in the PC case. And that was a repack that everyone did because it was considered very, very bad to do any additions, Y cables, extensions off of the end here. So you did everything to not do that. Well, I ignored all that crap, and the repack I sold looked like this.
Talk about elegant, huh?
There's an MPI there.
There's an MPI.
There's a multi-pack flying off the end of a angled cable.
Yeah.
Just soldered to the motherboard, so there's still only one connection. I computed the number of connections was a problem.
So would you need a full-size tower case for one of these, or?
Yeah, this was a full-size tower case. All of the cards sat back over the top of the motherboard.
Does
kind
it
of
run?
Organized as you see. Yeah, this one still does. This was the so-called commercial version I tried to sell as the Cube, but my financing fell apart and my company fell apart, and it never happened. But the idea was, you use the stock keyboard it plugged into here. There's your RGB connector.
Oh wow!
Old multi-pack, XT power supply with these connectors. So it was decent. Here was my office version, which was the same thing but with the Pupo adapter, so I could use a real keyboard.
Neat.
This one probably runs, but where am I going to find a keyboard? So I would have to
they
do
required an XT keyboard, if I remember correctly, right?
Exactly. Not even an AT.
Check with David Ladd. He's probably going.
He's probably got some.
I have
we got 10 of them.
I have a Model F downstairs.
Oh, sweet. But then it gets worse. Here's a hack for you. The gobular thing here was the original serial port that I sold for a while, and my second multi-pack died, or my multi-pack died, and I had to be online because I was on Delphi every day, and I had to have floppy because I was running OS 9. So here we go. Here's a floppy hacked to a serial port with a bit of hard drive cable.
Oh,
there's the backside.
You plug the serial port in, and then the hard drive the floppy hangs off of it.
The Coco kind of ran right like this, and it just kind of snuck out of there on the side. And
is there a switch?
No, it kind of passes all the way through, right?
Yeah, you run both
Oh yeah, it's a Y
simultaneously.
cable.
It's a Y cable, yes. Exactly.
It's
It's
a-
a Y cable.
And I had this because I sold these. I had this in the house, and I just took a piece of IDC. So yeah, you can get really, really ugly on Y cables on a 2 megahertz machine.
And it still
So,
works.
moral of the story. Yeah, it was fine. I ran it forever. I used it for my shop cocoa when I split up. The disposable cocoa and the one I have to have.
What kind of speeds do you get on it?
Oh, this was just a regular 6551, so
okay.
9600 and OS9.
Yeah.
Was a good day. Let's see where we go. The backside of that.
Multi-pack.
This is really fun. I used to sell upgraded multi-packs. So I had sold this to somebody and it came back. And I just took one out of stock, shipped it to him, and threw it in the pile. And I never looked at it. And I just looked at it while I was going through all this stuff. And the problem was I never pushed these power pins all the way down. So it ran for testing, and it died during shipping, and it sat for 25 years.
Wow. What was the upgrade you did? What's the upgrade on the multi-pack?
For the Coco 3. So it,
it doesn't. Okay.
Yeah, so it doesn't chatter over the gimme. I've still got some of these.
So that's why it didn't work. Is it what
the power?
When I upgraded it and I put it all back together, I didn't seat all of these power pins properly. So it worked when it was freshly put together in testing, but by the time the customer got it,
it kind of wiggled loose. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I just sent him another one.
What's the Dave Jones wiggle wiggle wiggle? Yeah.
Wiggle it just a little.
Is that the new style?
Yeah, that's the little one. That's the little one. The old ones were these
bigger.
Yeah, I sawed the whole back off. They came way out back here with the power supply that is missing on this one. I used to use these because you could just stuff in PAL chips and no soldering. And when they were plentiful, hey, you see the power supply downgrade. You're on a saber saw down the back side of it, and she's downgraded. And then you just feed it from an AT supply. These were great machines. I ran this thing forever.
Wow.
Let's see. Is there anything else in this pile? Oh.
Was any of that stuff for sale?
Oh, look at these Coco 3s with keyboards.
And these are my most prominent. Here's my retirement fund right here. These were dead, but they're all in very good condition. This one will run at low speed, but not high speed, even though it's got good RAM and it's got
keyboard's super clean. That looks like an Ed Snyder keyboard.
That's a Tandy 512K on it.
Yep. And with new RAM, because like I say, it wouldn't run at double speed, so I put 120s in it, and that didn't help. So I don't know, but these are. So I've actually got 8, 9, 10 Coco 3s if you add it all up. If I could get them all running, like you say, that'd be sitting pretty. I could finance my next 3 projects off of old Cocos. But yeah, if I get any of this stuff working, I'm going to make it available. It shouldn't be sitting dead.
Right.
So I'm just trying to force myself to get off my butt by showing it to everybody. So he's like, "You get them Cocos done yet?"
Coolio.
And I will feel goated to have to do it. And then. Let's see, I can unshare, but I'll show you my last sad thing that I found in my pile of stuff. Let me come back, Zoom. Zoom left me. The windowing system on Ubuntu just does not get along with Zoom at all. I've completely lost my main window. Here we go. Here's a pop-up, stop share. Oh, and then I found this. Brand new sealed
rescue on Fractulus.
Oh, it's got a fractal on it.
It's a little bendy.
It's a little fractal, yes. Yeah. But it's still sealed in the plastic. Watch out, folks.
It's in there.
It's a collector's.
Wow.
See,
that's worth $20 million on eBay.
Right.
I've got one here, but it's not all bendy. And it's
yeah.
I think yours is probably worth more because it's custom.
Right, and that one's just
you could make yours look like his.
That would ruin the authenticity, though, wouldn't it?
Right,
like antique
modified, and that's you don't want modified.
Cool stuff, Rick. Oh, by the way, thank you for becoming a patron too. I didn't get a chance to update the recording on the show, but I noticed that today. So thank you for that.
Certainly.
Who else has got some show and tell stuff? Updates, acquisitions. Anyone? Bueller? No?
I can show mine from last week again. No.
I missed it. Sure.
Oh, I'm kidding. I'm not doing
Okay. Any news from Camp Chet? Or is Chet muted?
No, actually not muted. I was thinking I
Okay.
was. Actually, yeah, I did. I don't know if anybody saw my post, but I was able to recover the code for Digger 1 through disassembly and luck, actually, and laziness. So that's actually what
I have that in the game on news. Did you want to save it for that, Chet, or do
yeah,
you
we'll
want to do it right now?
we'll go ahead and save it for that. I don't want to steal your news and stuff, but yeah, that's kind of the stuff I'm working on right now.
Cool.
I'm just
That's an interesting story how you got back some of the original labels and stuff. So yeah,
Yeah.
want to discuss that.
Yeah, so we can talk about that later. That's
Okay, cool. All right, and then we're going to turn this over to Ron Delvaux then, if nobody else has anything, because Ron's had a very busy week this week showing off artwork and splash screens and Coco SDC stuff. So Ron's been a busy guy this week. So Ron, you going to do a share on your end?
Okay, I will.
All right. Engage, number one.
Okay.
The do run, the do run.
Okay.
Doesn't sound like a share song.
What we have here is my TDP.
Okay.
With the dragon. Now, what I thought of was I came up with a opening graphic for your computer or anyone's computer. This is for the dragon. I've got a whole bunch I've made. This is for the VG6 Coco VGA.
Okay.
And
Cool.
I don't know how to program. So what would be cool is if somebody can come up with the code that would make this come up, upon boot, like we can do with the Color Computer 3. And
oh, you mean like kind of modified ROM?
yeah, well, for instance, the SDC has, I have it so that I can boot up
like auto boot something.
Yeah, auto boot something.
Right.
It comes up right from the SDC.
Yeah, I actually
program.
have a program that Brendan gave me that would display a splash screen from his graphics mode. I can just send you that because I use that at the beginning of Kabam where it shows the Coco VGA logo in the SG6 mode. So it's just a little basic program that you can run in your startup on your Coco SDC to display that image, and then you can have it pause for a period of time or whatever.
Yeah, this here is a rendering from Sockmaster's high color too. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And
I like that
you
one.
can see there's a ton of them in here. And I did it for the 64K machines, and that's the original. And then I go and render from that to
I think
BIN
Erico
file.
is trying to ask a question about the image. You don't need help with the image being produced. You need help with getting image displayed on the screen on startup, right? Right. So we just need a program to fire up that graphic on startup, which would go in your SDC file.
Yep.
Yeah, these look cool.
Yeah. So it does work. I have on my machine sitting next to me here, I have it so it comes up. And then Terry Steggy came up with an idea for changing the colors on your
the palette
SDC.
hacks? Yeah.
Yeah. And so that worked. Here is a boot.
Okay. Ron Delvaux's boot.
What's that a boot?
What is that a boot?
It takes a while because it's loading the screen, but at the same time, I have a switcheroo and
there's your screen. Your screen came up on start.
Yeah, the HD video thing finally goes away.
Yeah. Okay. So you actually have the image. You have the image coming up when you boot.
Yeah, and then if you hit a key, it goes to the new colors.
All right, and then there's your palette hacked SDC Explorer.
Yeah,
which looks cool.
Is that a Sockmaster image?
Yes.
You could probably do that very same image that uses half the memory if you just do a normal screen, because that's not really a high color image. And it'll be
it's not
sharper.
really. Yeah.
It'll be sharper.
Well, you guys that program know all that good stuff. Those guys that play with stuff. I can do artwork.
Yeah, no, it's cool. I like,
Very nice
I like
artwork.
your your logos.
really good
Thanks,
stuff,
guys.
Ron.
Also, Ron, before you let go here, you also posted, and I didn't put this in the news, I completely forgot, and I just saw it when you were going through your pictures there, but you had that Antico ad for making custom ROM cartridges from back in the day.
Oh yeah, I was looking through a Rainbow, and it was an early one, I think 83. Opened a couple of pages, and I saw that, and I thought, is that a ROM pack? Yeah. And I saw the ad, and I thought, you know what? I'll look it up so I can get a good screen print. And I did it. I went to one of these places that has all the rainbows, and I brought it up, and I did a screen print and put it up, and asked if anybody else had any of those ROM packs around, because you always see the Radio Shack ones, but that's a different company, right?
Yeah, Antico.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, if you can, Ron, do you want to share that screenshot just so people can see what the ad looked like? They did produce a couple commercial cartridges. They did the 8-ball pool. I think they sold that way. Intergalactic Force, I think, was another.
I'm not sure where it is.
I like the color set there. It's pretty nice. Blue.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a Commodore 64.
It reminded me a lot of MS-DOS type stuff. A lot of MS-DOS menu stuff was always, people chose like the white or yellow font on the blue background.
It's got that 6502.
I don't know where it is.
Is that part of the SETI project down there, Ron? All those little
No.
codes? No?
Yeah, that's it.
That's like a wizard chart.
Okay.
No, that's his Bitcoin mining.
There's
His
no
Bitcoin mining stats down there.
Ron's garage. It's coming, guys.
There's no intelligent life on this show. I can
have
tell
an
you that
extremely
much.
fast computer.
I just thought it was cool because I remember Antico sold games for at least 6 to 8 months in Rainbow, but the ad for getting custom-made cartridges and selling the cases and the cartridge ports and the actual boards and stuff was actually, I think, just a couple months they advertised that.
This is in my observatory, my two color computer 3s, and then I have a whole bunch of stuff. This is where I'm sitting now. And
on your lower right there, Ron, where it says Recent Media, if you click that See All, it should show up in there, I'm thinking.
Where's this at?
Where it says Recent Files, See All. Right, to See All.
Over here?
Yeah. On the right-hand side. On the right-hand side, it says Recent.
Your other right.
Right-hand side.
Okay, under Recent Media or Recent
Media.
Files?
Up.
Yeah, Recent Media, then See All. Underneath.
Yes, hit See All under Recent
okay.
Media. There we go. And then...
And there it is.
Oh, right there. Okay. There you go. There it is.
Enter into the newest dimension for your color computer and TDP 100 Antico. Yes, I remember that company. ROM pack. Application, high-res games, utility, experiment, 2K, 4K,
And it's sold
8K.
kits.
Very good.
And Ron got involved and it became the Ron Pack.
Yeah, right.
That's it. That's what you should get into, Ron. I was thinking the same thing. You should bring that back and call it the Ron Pack.
The Ron pack.
The only problem is I have no ROM in my head to do it.
But they'll sure look pretty.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Thanks, guys.
They say that memory is the first thing to go, and what was the
What's
second? Yes, exactly. Very cool stuff. Anybody else have an update or acquisition, show and tell, project update? Anyone? Bueller? All right, then we're going to take a commercial break. We'll be back with a brand new Coco Thoughts from Samuel Gimes, which I believe is Game On related, and I believe is probably a song parody, which is one of Ron Delvaux's favorite things.
Oh, yeah.
And then, yes, okay. So just real quick, just to something to think about before we go to commercial. Jesus or Satan? Which one do you guys like better? I don't know. Okay, no, we're kidding. We're moving on. Come on, just so you know. All
Time
right,
to go to the bathroom.
We're going to take a commercial break. And we're gonna play us right now with a little CoCoTALK for you as we go to commercial here.
CoCoTALK will return after these messages.
CoCoTALK, c'est le coq champignon, des micros et dans le pion. Pour le jeu, il est pas bavard, les études, c'est pas bizarre. L'expansion, il adore ça, les commandes, tu vas voir ça. Notre coco est bon bonhomme, pour tes cours, c'est bien serviable. Coco 2 de Radio Shack, ton affaire est dans le sac.
Un ordinateur couleur qui a de la personnalité. Le Coco 2 de Radio Shack. On solde pour Noël à partir de 149,95.
Coco 2 de Radio Shack, ton affaire est dans le sac, c'est toi.
Oops.
There it is.
Holy shit.
Oh, okay. Now,
CoCoTALK will return after these messages.
Coco 2, c'est le coq champignon. Des micros, il donne le pion. Pour le jeu, il est pas battant. Les études, c'est pas bizarre. L'expansion, il envoie ça. Les commandes, tu vas voir ça. Notre Coco est programmable. Pour tes cours, c'est bien serviable. Coco 2 de Radio Shack, ton affaire est dans le sac.
Un ordinateur couleur qui a de la personnalité. Le Coco 2 de Radio Shack. On solde pour Noël à partir de 149,95.
Coco 2 de Radio Shack, ton affaire est dans le sac, c'est toi. Et Coco 2.
And now, Coco Thoughts by Samuel Gimes. If you're using your color computer in Quebec and it stops working, is it now a Coco won't do?
Hi, Ron Delvo, Timberman, Coco Fest, CoCoTALK.
In a world where RGB produces black and white video, one cable can make a difference. Switcheroo. CoCo3ScartCable.com.
Hey, have you got your Coco 3 yet? Hi, this is Rick Adams, author of Temple of Ram and Shanghai, and you've tuned into CoCoTALK, the nation's leading live talk show featuring the Tandy color computer.
What's going on, everybody? Original gamer CoCoTALK here, and if you're a fan of vintage computing and retro gaming, then you're going to love our retro swag shop at 8bit256.com. There you will find custom designs by Instagram artist Joel M. Adams. You can get I'm a Coconut, CoCoTALK, and other cool video game images on a t-shirt, coffee mug, or mouse pad. So if you love retro, then head on over to the retro swag shop at 8bit256.com today. Tell them the original gamer CoCoTALK sent you.
Radio Shack store-wide manager's red tag sale is on now. We've slashed prices 20%, 30%, 40%, 50%. Save on famous Radio Shack hi-fi, car stereo, radios, toys, TV games, calculators, walkie-talkies, and CB radios. Look for the big red tag. Save like never before on these and literally hundreds of red tag specials. Hurry into Radio Shack today.
Hi, this is Randy Kindig of the Floppy Days podcast. I just love me some Coco, and nobody covers it better than Steve Strobridge. You're listening to CoCoTALK.
And now, Coco Thoughts by Samuel Gimes. I'm the shock trooper, and I'm gonna shoot the alien. I'm the shock trooper, and I know they're not mammalian. All around my hometown, I'm trying to track them down. Dodge the lasers and the evil Zaproids to save all of the humanoids. To save all the humanoids. And I say, I'm the shock trooper, and I swear I'll make the best
Boogie
I'm the shock trooper.
The mojo
Killing
going
all
on.
those Terminators will commence. Those aliens always hated us. for what I don't know. They are trying to plant their seeds. I say kill them before they grow. I say kill them before they grow. I say. I'm the shock trooper, and I will avoid the filter grids. I'm the shock trooper, particle emitters be forbid.
Clever.
Oh
my God.
I didn't know what he would do with the game this week. That was excellent, Sam.
Oh, sung to the tune of I Shot the Sheriff, for those who weren't aware.
I'll be funked. I'll be funked.
That was I don't know. Samuel Gimes, I don't know how he does it.
I do like Tim Franklin's comment in the chat, though. Such a talented singer, just not sure what he's talented in, though.
I have to admit, when I pick a game, I wonder, is Samuel going to be able to do anything with this? I don't let that affect my decision, but I do. It does cross my mind when I pick them. So
I think at this point, Samuel Gimes has crossed all boundaries. I don't think there's a song or a game that Samuel is not capable of doing.
He has crossed all boundaries. He needs a restraining order.
Yes. And I tell you what, I did, because I missed the show last week, I didn't see the video of the Marble Madness until this morning when I was getting ready for the show, and I really liked the Marble Madness one too. That was really good. So
really clever stuff.
Clever stuff from the minds of Samuel Gimes. Good stuff. It is now time for Nick Marota's favorite part of the show, because it's all about him at this point.
Absolutely. Yep.
So, without any further ado, here we go with the Game On High Score Challenge introduction and results.
High Score Challenge with Nick Marota.
All right, and welcome to another week of results. This week we played Shock Trooper with 26 players. R. Ellen Murphy, 8,378. Ken Reichard, 15,239. Brian Weasler, 18,337. Louis, 22,078. Mr. Dave, 23,043. Catlord, 23,132. Canadian Retro Things, 23,617. Mark Bosley, 24,347. ogStevieStrow, 24,623. Me, 26,099. Tom C, 27,337. Jim Rye, 28,114. Buck Owens, 28,285. Just Mike, 31,580. Al Curtis Boyle, 32,009. Sloopy, 32,265. David Ladd, 32,373. Joshua Craker, 32,525. Adam Tandy Dragon Guy, 37,940. 8 Bits in the Basement, 39,201. David Craker, 39,427. Frodo, 43,096. Tasman, 44,663. Chet Simpson, 51,162. Karen, 59,650. And the number one scorer this week belongs to Erico with 71,329. Nice score. Thank you to everybody who participated this week, and thank you for the suggestion of the game.
Wow, good job, Erico. Good job to all the participants. The top 10 was pretty darn good. I feel completely insignificant with my score.
I did play, but level 3 can die.
So yes,
that
thank
level's
you.
Easy.
Thank you to Just Mike and Terry for suggesting the game. And I do have an errata. I apologize to Rogelio, who also submitted a score that got lost. 13,767. That will be in the official score list that appears in the Game On Challenge. So we actually had 27 players this week, which
good turnout.
Excellent. All right. That didn't do what I thought it would do. All right. So rainbow review for Shock Trooper.
Just when you think the game writers have run out of scenarios, along comes a program that restores your faith in the future of space games. Such game is Shock Trooper, created by Mark Data, a long-time pace setter and innovative programming. The challenges are seemingly endless, and the difficulty level is enough to frustrate even veteran game players. Wow, this is a great way to start off a review, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep, she did a really great job of reviewing this, and apparently the game consists of 14 screens. I only saw the first 4, so so I can't verify, but apparently there are 14.
Huh? Allegedly, there are 14 screens, huh?
Several of the top players could verify that for you.
Yeah.
Here are the scores from back in the day.
Yeah.
These actually seem reasonable, especially because even though our top score was 70, Tasman was able to get actually over 100 by doing a bit of what he considered an exploit. So we'll talk about more of that in a bit. But anyway, here's some gameplay submitted by, thank you, Ken Reichard, for submitting this. This is the first gameplay video that I believe he submitted. So, yeah, would you guys
very
think?
short.
This might have been what he used to give Samuel Games for his music video.
Yeah, possibly, yes. So, what do you guys think of the game?
Great
I really
game.
like it.
It's difficult.
I really liked it back in the day. It has excellent theme music. Of course, the game itself is based on the old VTV show. And I even had that kind of warbly organ. Like most of the Coca games had that standard organ sound. This actually had a little bit of a difference to it. Good sound effects. Just a generally fun game. And of course, there's that hidden test mode that the original author left in it too. If you know the right key sequence, you can get to.
Yeah, apparently you pause the game and go Shift O R Shift S, which is probably the last 3 letters of visitors. That's my guess. But
Nope, it's based on his initials.
Oh, then fine. I thought I had a V connection.
Yeah, Rob
Does it
Shaw's the
tell
author
you-
of the game. So go ahead.
Does it tell you who shot the sheriff?
So that test mode, I guess it gives you some sort of invincibility, but not all. From what I think
I'm the
David Labb
Shock
was playing with it.
Trooper.
You're immune from the bullets, but apparently you're not immune from other things. So I'm not quite sure what test mode does. I never played with it.
You can't kill the alien on here, can you? On this screen.
No, those robots, I don't think they're killable.
You can just
You
push
can
them
repel
around.
them. Yeah.
This is as far as I got.
Like I said,
So apparently you are
die.
getting points just for shooting at them. So
Yeah, but your radiation increases.
yes, true.
So I've heard some strategies like when you're near the radiation decontamination center, to just shoot your ray and maximize your radiation to get points, and then go into the decontamination.
Well, for the first level, if you just go up to the top right corner and just wait for those little looking things to come out, and just keep on shooting them until your radiation gets close to the end, you can get about 25,000 points on that first stage.
Oh, I thought those things to me reminded me of the Ed 209 from RoboCop, the enforcement droid. So it could be like a little mini walker too. Yeah.
Actually, since we're talking about this already, let's skip ahead to Tasman's video. So he will link to the full video, which is like 45 minutes long. This is just a 90-second highlight reel of the main points. But Tasman was able to get over 100,000. So just like Chet was saying, basically.
Yeah, I guess that is more like an at than it is. I don't know why. Back in the day, I used to think it was a RoboCop thing.
So this is on screen 4. He would hang around and just shoot them and then go down to the decontamination center and.
He only got 19,000.
Well, that's because he's not done yet.
Well, no,
So
that's on this. No, you can get 25,000 each go around.
So then he skips ahead to and this is level 4. Sorry, this is screen 4, and he rescues the three guys.
So that little thing where the radar is pointing down, is that what the spawner is to generate the ATST looking thing?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Then he hangs around up here and just keeps shooting until his radiation.
Right. So you're
maxes
basically
out.
farming them at this point. Yeah.
Right.
And by the way, if this was Call of Duty and somebody killed me on a spawn kill like this, I would say what I was going to do to their mother over the headset.
Oh, why say it?
So he repeats this ad nauseum until he gets to a point where he can no longer. He basically was maximizing score in this. That was his goal.
See, but when you're standing on that thing, you can't shoot.
Yeah, the little rainbow colors going across.
Yeah.
So he ended up with 123, but he didn't submit this as a score because he felt it was taking.
Right. Yeah. I remember one night when I was playing this, Karen was in the Discord chat too. He mentioned that too. He's like, he knew the farming trick where you could sit there and just let them keep respawning and just keep shooting them for points.
But thank you, Tasman, for submitting that, and we'll have a
so is that cheating? I don't know that that's necessarily cheating. It's you're exploiting the game, but if you're playing the game with the normal number of lives, it's kind of like, we figured a few things out when we played Donkey King, where if you jumped over more barrels, and if you got the hammer and you used the hammer the whole time for more points, there are certain things you can do that are legitimately getting you some points. And when you're playing for points, that's not the worst thing in the world to do, I guess, right?
That was purely his call. I would have respected either way. If he would have submitted it as a score, I would have taken it.
I would take that as completely legit. I mean, if you're going for score, I usually played these games to see if I could get through all the levels. That was more my thing.
Yeah, if you're going for a speed run, you skip all that crap. If you're going for score, which is kind of what this is, the high score challenge, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Exploit all you want, man.
Yeah.
So
he's number one.
Cool stuff. It is a fun game. I found some bugs. We saw a few things. I found where you could start walking and erase part of the floor, and as you were walking, it would destroy part of the floor, and then you could create a big gap that you couldn't get across. I remember seeing stuff like that. So there was a few bugs in it. But very cool design, great concept, great execution, minus the bugs. I also found the collision detection sucked. If the frickin' robot was like nowhere near you, you still got electrocuted and died. So
this is Canadian Retro Things playthrough. I don't know if the other two showed the invisibility, but I know Canadian Retro Things does use the invisibility during his playthrough, which lets you avoid getting shot, but at the cost of
radiation shoots up. The invisibility thing is funny because when I first played this, of course, it was part of, like most of us did as kids because we couldn't afford these games, but I had no idea about the invisibility until years later.
It's helpful. There's the one screen where you got the thing shooting into the mirror, and it's such a tight window of trying to get down to shoot that thing that it's actually that's when I had used the transparency thing, whatever. Now,
go ahead.
This is the same guy who made Tut's Tomb.
I was just gonna bring that up. Tut's Tomb.
Yeah.
Rob Shaw. So Tut's Tomb is the earlier game. This was a little bit later, so I think this is a bit more finesse than Tut's Tomb was, music wise and some of the graphics and stuff. But definitely based on the same rough engine, I would say.
Now, did he also do that Bandit O game?
El Bandito?
Yeah.
El Bandito.
He's just looking for excuse to make fun of me.
El
That's
Bandito.
how it's spelled. What do you want me to do? So there he went invisible.
Yeah.
But his radiation.
Because there's only a handful of games that use this inverse mode where it was the white background with black on white, but it worked very well for those games. So El Bandito was one of them. Fangman. Who did El Bandito and Fangman? Was that Rob Shaw?
David Crandall.
Oh, David Crandall. Okay. Yeah. All right, but same concept. Used this same mode and used it well. So there was, there's 4 games that come to mind on the Coco that use the inverse P Mode 4 screen extremely well. Because we typically don't think of as a white background as really a good choice for an arcade game, but these games here, it just really worked,
Yeah, and I know that's Nick Morendi's one of his main complaints about a lot of the games. He hates that white border when you're doing a black background on the screen.
Yeah.
Also, so like Chet, or I think you had mentioned the collision detection is a very large box around the player that extends past where he actually is.
Yeah.
And that was something else. I know Nick had mentioned that he wasn't a big fan of dying.
Yeah.
Yeah, it sucks.
Yeah, so there was definitely some rage quit moments there when you're trying to play a fair game and the frickin' robot screws you before he even gets near you, It's like,
Oh no, even when you're playing an unfair game, that sucks.
Yeah. Curse you, robot!
So as I mentioned, this is Canadian Retro Things. He's been featuring our Game of the Week on his show for the last few weeks. So
yeah.
Same thing
Yeah, unfortunately
which
for
is
Ken, I
fantastic.
mean, he's had his main PCs that do his video capture from the real Coco's actually quit working, and for doing video capture, so he's actually having to play with VCC, which is why we see kind of the odd character set, not the full one here on his video. Hopefully, he gets that running again, because I know his videos on the real Coco actually looked a lot better.
Oh, here's the part you were talking about, Steve.
No, there was one where it's a lot closer. It was like on screen 2 or screen 3 on your first round, where there's a gun, and the gun's like an inch away from the mirror, so you've got like no time to squeeze between the shots. Yeah,
this one's actually pretty easy. You just wait until the shot bounces off the mirror and just goes back in, then you just go up and shoot through that hole and blast the.
Yeah, here he must be pointing to the fact that you have those no shoot zones there with the colored floor.
And of course, the longer your shot goes, the more your radiation builds up even from shooting.
Yeah,
So,
which is a neat concept. I can't think of too many games that did that. Kind of managing the radiation with your shots.
now, Nick Marotta, did you get any videos showing like people wrapping the game back to the beginning? Because I hear there's some extra things that show up when you wrap it.
No, I did not. These are the 3 videos that I received this week.
And how many ship parts are there total that you're supposed to get?
Jet, do you know?
It's like 3 or 4, I thought.
I think it's 4.
If you ask me, that sounds like a bunch of ship.
Yeah.
Shipload of
some horse ship. No, cool game though. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it to a bit, and then I got frustrated. So, but I participated.
Much like this show.
This is not one I played back in the day. This is not one I played back in the day, so I would not have thought of it.
Yeah.
So thank you to Terry Stiggy, and Just Mike for suggesting this one. And yes, I do take suggestions. Just PM me, and I'll try to make a list of the games we've already done for those who joined the series later, and maybe a site that has some of the.
Yeah, I meant to do that. We talked about that. I should open up a blog post on the CoCoTALK page.
But anyway, I
post it as a blog. Yeah.
I love suggestions, because I mean I have a list in my mind of the things I played, but I'm looking to discover new games as well. So this one turned out to be very popular. I was very very happy with that.
Erico said that once you flip the game, the timing for the enemy shooting gets smaller. I guess that must mean they shoot quicker. They don't pause as long before they start firing at you.
He also says, I haven't seen anything different up to level 11 on a second run. So obviously he's made it pretty far. I did discover, like, playing it on keyboard on an emulator for me was just a pain in the ass. I didn't get a chance, unfortunately, to switch over to my real Coco and play on the joystick, but it was definitely easier with the joystick from what I remember back in the day.
So
can I suggest for the future the new math tutor?
We can all have a blast with the new math tutor.
I'll put that in the same block as Color Script Set.
Well, we've already done Color Script Set. We need Color Script Set 2.
Yes.
Well,
Electric Boogaloo.
The
Don't
forget Profile.
We should do disc scripts at least. So. Cool.
All right. Oh, apparently it temporarily stuns them.
Oh, what, when you're invisible?
Yeah, I'm not. I don't remember what the audio was that went with this, but all right. So are we ready to move to the next game?
Yeah, I'd be really curious to know what the next game of next week is going to be there, Nick Marotta.
All right. So I tried to pick games that had some sort of because it's October. I tried to pick games that had some sort of I don't know if it's scary, but this week was Aliens. So next week is going to be a monster game.
Ooh, is it Fangman?
Monster Match.
Oh, Rampage.
Rampage.
That's right, Rampage. Coco 3. And obviously it's a an official port of the arcade game of the same name. And
darn good one.
And there's options. You can pick up to 3 players. We're going to play 1 player, obviously, but you can change the which controller affects which player. So if you want to play as Lizzie, you should be able to go in here and assign it to a keyboard, to a joystick, unless you want to play keyboard, whatever. So that's our game of the week for next week. And
one of the things that Steve Bjork says is this game helped extend the life of the Coco 3 a little bit because they saw this one playing. they were trying to say how good the Tandy 1000 was, and they saw that this was the one playing. It's like, no, that's the Coco version. And like,
Oh yeah, this was definitely one of the
Yeah.
best arcade conversions on the Coco 3 for sure.
This was one that Bodokar John Schaller on the Amigos really hypes up as being a really good conversion of Rampage too.
Oh, good.
Between
Yeah.
platforms.
What did Lizzie Borden do?
I always pulled this one out to show off my Coco 3. Just what can it do? Well, here, look at this.
Rampage.
This was the go-to.
All right, so thanks again for a fantastic turnout this week, and I look forward to seeing what you guys do with this game this week.
Very, very, very
Thank you,
cool.
Stevie.
Oh, cool, Namas.
Thank you, Nick. I know you like this segment.
It's my favorite. I'm gonna
the-
tune out now.
The
Probably.
high score challenge with Nick Marotta.
It's all about me, obviously.
Yes. Now, Brian.
What do you think
Weasler-
about me?
Brian Weasler has joined us. Hey, Brian.
Hello. Sorry, guys. I was late. Work before play, I guess. Priorities, but maybe the wrong priorities. But
Yes. Well, we did project updates and acquisitions at the top of the show, and you typically always get something every week. Is there anything you want to tell us about?
Oh, geez, you guys are going to catch me off guard here. Didn't have my stuff together yet.
Okay. Well, we can run Game On News and give you time.
Yep, that'd be fine.
Wait, I got some stuff from his doorstop.
All right, so are we going to just roll into the Game On News then, and then which I think will hopefully include some update from Chet on his Digger 1?
Sure.
Game
You
On
want to
News.
run the intro or just go straight into it?
We're just going to go on into it. Curtis
okey.
Boyle. David says that Josh is jacked for Rampage.
Oh, good. I think I heard a rumor that Mrs. Dave might play Rampage, so hopefully she might be encouraged to.
Is that Sharon from Dave and Sharon?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
That'd be cool.
Sharon! All right, so.
Hey, so getting into Game On News here. The first one up, Jim Gary was a busy boy this week, like every other week. So the first one here is a new beta for an MC10 game called Decoy, which is based on a Dick Smith VZ200 original game. So you can read the instructions there on the screen. I'll just play it for a little
Zed.
bit. Of course, he's got that awesome MC10 music that I just can't
MC10?
duplicate. I don't know why, but
MC10 is a fantastic machine. It's incredible.
How many games have been ported from the MC10 to the Coco 3?
Ooh, look at that. That's
kind of
pretty
almost
cool.
looks like Sea Dragon, like a sub or something, though.
Yeah,
Technically a spaceship.
yeah.
But
Would that be none?
To the Coco 3? Well, some of the MC10 games do run on Coco 1 and 2, so they would run on a Coco 3. too.
actually, quite a few of them do, actually.
Yeah.
I think
So you have
there's
to
been
shoot it through the middle where the @ signs are?
I believe so.
Now, I wonder if he's poking those ats, because you can't print the inverted @ Maybe you can on the MC10.
I never thought of @ signs as being nasty.
They're a pain in the ats.
And you get stuff shooting at you from the bottom.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. It definitely, because of that thing on the bottom, it does give you the sense of movement. You know, the simple scrolling of the floor.
Yeah. What it looks like to me is it looks like one of those games where things just come at you.
Okay, you can mute Jason's mic. now.
Womp, womp, womp.
Are those stars up above the sky? You know, it looks like there's the ground and then there's the sky.
Yeah, could be.
Yeah. That's a nice way, because I mean, he didn't have the time, like running it in basic in particular, of having to draw mountains that actually are scrolling across the entire screen. So just having that cityscape thing on the bottom gives the illusion of it quite well.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
Well, no time for parallaxing within the interpreted basic code. What are you saying here, Curtis?
So does the MC10 have a separate region at the bottom that's handled separately, or is it just
No. It's just
one line?
Done the same way as a Coco.
I have a
Coco 1 and
feeling
2.
what he's doing there is because you can't print on that last space because the screen will scroll, so he's probably poking that number in, and he's dealing with a 31 character string that he's just using mid strings to wrap around to get that one character scroll on it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Shift register.
That sounds impressive, Steve.
Hey, listen. That's where it's at.
whatever.
So I'm like the other guy of the group, Steve and Ron, right?
Yeah.
I'm the one that set you up.
You're the
Hey,
straight
everybody,
man,
it's
right?
Steve and Ron in the morning.
Hey,
Yeah.
Steve and Ron in the
Everybody.
morning. Hey, how's it going, crazy guys and gals?
You're Ed McMahon.
How wonderful are you, Steve?
He's going to take it and run with it.
He's gonna
Hello?
take it.
Just need some
Yeah.
crazy sound effects. Woo!
All right, listen. We're trying to have a serious show here, guys. Come on, Curtis.
sure.
Is,
Who said anything that's serious? What's this sort of shit, man? Come on.
Just remember, this show is where it's at. So.
That's it. Hey.
Starring CV Stowbridge.
All right, Curtis, as you were.
Okay, the next one up from Jim Gary here is Kingdom of Euphoria, which is a simulation game. This is ported by Jim from a book called The First Book of Tiny Basic Programs by Tom Pittman in 1981. So it's one of these, simulate you running a kingdom type thing. We've got other games on the Coco like this, like Erland and Viking 2 and Castle Greymoon and a bunch of others. But it's basically you're trying to, have your civilization expand and thrive type thing. Or you can starve them out and kill them off, and you get plagues and all kinds of stuff. So it's a text-based simulation game. If you're into the Sim Life type stuff or Sim City, it's kind of a text version of that type of thing. So it's kind of cool that he got that one out too. This next one's a bit different. It's somewhat Coca related. The complete BBC Microgames archive page, which is what we're showing here with a filter, have published several Fallsoft adventure games. As you'll notice, it says self-published Fallsoft, and then by Fallsoft itself. Now, Fallsoft, of course, is the parent company that did Rainbow Magazine.
Yep.
So what these people did here on the BBC Micro is they took some of the old text adventure games done in Rainbow Magazine and actually ported them over to the BBC Micro.
Oh, neat.
So not too often you see a cross.
Oh,
like
are
that,
we
so-
honored or what? We're honored, right?
I think so.
Ronald.
I remember the one room one here, the one on the far left, by George Murr. Now, George Murr was a text adventure aficionado, par excellence type thing. He's the one who published ADV Maker in Rainbow in August of '82, which was actually the skeleton of a text adventure game with instructions of how to make your own based on that code. You basically just filled in arrays and some logic stuff, but basically the whole core of the game was there. And that's actually my Ring Quest game that got published in Rainbow a couple of years later was actually based on that engine, though I changed it a little bit to handle graphics. So I definitely like George Murr because I wouldn't have been able to do that game without his
cool
engine. So that's cool. Next up here, Paul Shoemaker has put up an updated video and a disk image download. Disk image download is showing here right now, showing updates to his isometric graphical adventure game that we kind of previewed last week. So that's where you can download the demo.
How about that good-looking banner up there?
That is a good-looking banner.
And it's modest author, yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
Almost
Steve,
as modest as
me
Nick
out,
wrote
Steve.
it.
Help me out, Steve.
He is. He's extremely modest.
It's my best quality.
He's as talented as he is good looking.
So this shows a new layout. So he's expanded. He's got some text, and he's got a text character set that's narrower than a single byte, so we can fit more text on the screen.
Okay.
And then, of course, he's got his isometric 3D view here.
I like
drawn
that
with some
font.
stuff. He's
Gygax.
even got like a shadow
I love
under
that.
your arrow.
I
to
love
show
the
where
party name. Have Frito the Bold, Stevie, Gygax, Eddie, Ripley, Paul.
Yeah. And of course, everybody knows who Gygax is, right?
Gary Gygax, creator of Dungeons and
Creator of
Dragons. Yeah.
Dungeons and Dragons, yeah.
Why is Paul the thief? We like Paul.
Yeah. Well, these are roles you can play in Dungeons and Dragons. You can play
Hey,
different
what's
character
that?
classes.
Yeah. There's Paul right there now.
Or because he stole some of the names he used to the characters, so he's a thief.
Gee, thanks.
Oh, and I'm a cleric. I just realized that. I'm a cleric, huh?
Yeah.
Clergy.
Yeah, Stevie the Healer, that just doesn't ring true to me. I don't know.
Clergy, yeah. That's
like
cool.
me being a priest.
Yeah, right.
I would think you more of a Dark Lord myself. But...
That's a conundrum.
Mm-hmm.
You're like me being normal.
I like the graphics.
Yeah, and here's actually further graphics he did. But these are borrowed from the not the advanced Dungeons and Dragons manuals, but the basic expert companion guide set.
Yeah, neat.
It's kind of the beginner's D&D, which is where I first started.
And
playing
that
it way back in
kobold's got a little bit of a limp wrist thing going on there. Hey guys. Don't go this way. Stay away. Something scary is over here.
What are you talking about?
You cannot pass or I'll bitch slap you. Yeah, type of thing.
Those are good. Those
Please.
are really good scans. Coming out of those books. That looks
Absolutely.
really good.
Yeah, especially for just a 2-color P mode 4 screen. So
yeah.
This is actually kind of similar to the ones he did on his other dungeon game that he had to pull because the original artist. I would really like to see him still get that game redone. Like if Erico or somebody can actually redo the graphics so there's no copyright issues and actually re-release that game, I'd just love to see that. And actually, if you see on the right here in the comments, somebody actually kind of showed that same graphic which had been ported to another machine in color.
Okay,
and you can see the similar differences there.
Yeah. But it's really cool that strictly monochrome, how good this looks, just black and white.
Yeah, it reminds me of the original Mac games because, I mean, they had a higher res 512 384, but it was all black and white too. And they did some pretty cool stuff on
Mac
there.
classic stuff, absolutely.
Yeah. And actually, this is one of the instances where, PAL-based Cocos or the Dragons, who on these modes did not get the artifacting colors, would actually get a better look to the game than we would. Because in artifacting, you have those blue and red fringes and yellows and purples and stuff. So.
Yeah, you can't do this dithering for shadow on a modern Coco or on a NTSC Coco. It just turns into
stripes of blue and red.
Yeah.
Well, unless you use an RGB monitor.
Yeah.
Well, you
By the
turn
way,
the color down.
I have a whole bunch of multi-view fonts that only work on RGB because I dithered 4 colors with little squares like this. And you put it on composite, it's horrible. There's no way to fix it.
Yeah, good job, Paul. Looks really good.
Yeah,
I'm
good.
looking forward to seeing this when it becomes available.
And this one will make a bit of a discussion topic here. Chad Edward put up this interesting post here on the 14th of a kind of a survey thing of what was your first game ever on a Coco? And this can be either the first game you ever played or the first game you ever purchased or both.
Okay.
And he's had 233 comments so far. So this has been a pretty active topic. So I thought we'd hit the panel here. And we can expand on this a bit. I mean, some people were, later on in the comments were going, well, the first one they bought from Radio Shack, because that's all they knew existed was, this game or first one they ever played. And then they'd start getting into third party. Like once people discovered Rainbow Magazine, Hot Cocoa, Color Computer Magazine, etc. Then all of a sudden, of course, the games library greatly expands. So what was your first one of those? So if you want to just go around the panel, Steve, and see, what everybody's experience was for the first game that they ever played or ever bought or both.
Yeah, let me find the panel since you have kind of.
Let me stop sharing.
No, that's fine. Doesn't matter. Okay, so how about I'll be selfish and I'll go first because I just happen to remember. I think the first game I got, period, was Caterpillar Attack on cassette because I just remember one of the guys that happened to be in the store at Radio Shack the day I was taking possession of my Coco after weeks and months of layaway, and I was getting it and I had the tape player. I remember buying Pyramid 2000 on tape, and this guy goes, oh, I got this game, and he made a copy of the cassette that had Caterpillar Attack from Tom Mixoff for the old low-res green screen one. So the first 2 games I remember owning were Pyramid on tape and Caterpillar Attack on tape. And I guess you'll be next on the list, L. Curtis Boyle.
Okay, well, I got a couple of things I'll mention. The first games I ever bought, and I saved up for months to get these because the cartridges are expensive, but I got Skiing and Project Nebula, and that was just after I got my 16K upgrade. So this would have been probably early 82. So that was the first ones I ever bought at Radio Shack. The first one I ever played of a third party, somebody had come into Radio Shack, or one of our local ones here, and loaded Astro Blast by Mark Data Products and left it running on the machine. And the manager just let people come in and do stuff like that. He was pretty nice. Guy's name was Morris. But I'd never seen artifacted colors before. And I didn't even know the Coco could do it up until that point. I was, this is amazing type thing,
Yeah.
And I talked to Morris, and eventually he got the 2 of us because he knew who the other guy was, and we finally got us to meet. Now, the guy's name was Dick Powell, since passed away. But he was an older fellow that was like a hardware wizard. He was doing all of his own upgrades and things like that. And eventually, because Morris got the 2 of us to meet, a couple weeks after I originally saw Astro Blast, we formed the Saskatoon Color Computer Club along with a couple of other people. So it was very, timely and poignant to me that that was the first third-party game, and it actually helped us create the club just based on that. So, and the first third-party one I ever bought was the first third-party game ever sold in our city, as far as I know, was Phantom Slayer, which is still one of my favorites to this day.
Yeah. And then in the live chat, Amigos Retro Gaming saying first game for me was Megabug. Ken Reichard says Jason took mine. Jim Rye says Clendathu on cassette, and turned out it required extended color basic, which I didn't have. And how's that actually pronounced? Is it Clendathu? Clendathu? I don't know.
I call it Clendathu. I don't know if that's correct.
I'm not sure what syllable you should put the emphasis on there. Scott Cooper says Lancer was my first game on cassette. Brian
still
Joyce.
Best buzzer, or still Best Joe, sorry.
Yeah.
Sorry if that was about
Temple of Rom, best game ever, according to Brian Joyce. Canadian Retro Things, Dungeons of Daggerith on cartridge and Clendathu on tape. I got them the same time as my computer. Stooges fan says one of my favorite games is Donkey King. Hey, Stooges fan. David O'Connor, you'd be next on the panel to say what your first Coco game you owned or played was.
Yeah, my the first game that I ever played was our Game On Challenge about 2 or 3 weeks ago.
Wow.
Stellar
became
Lifeline?
my favorite game for Stellar Lifeline.
Oh, wow.
So I've still got the cartridge of it somewhere. I'm not sure where I put it, but it is floating around here somewhere.
Well, Jason, what game did you steal from Ken?
Well, I didn't steal it from him, but interestingly, I think he means I stole the answer in Facebook there. I guess I got it because, of course, we had to share a Coco too, and it was Bust Out. We had, I believe, it came with a bundle. I even still have the cartridge, the ROM pack. I have it right here, but it's I think it was a bundle. I think it was like a 16K Coco 2 melted keyboard. So this is like Christmas of '84, so we got it a little later than most of the people probably on the panel here. But we had a couple of Black Beauty joysticks and a 16K Coco 2 and a cassette recorder. And I think after that, eventually we got Project Nebula, and I don't remember exactly how that came about. And then a lot of the things we had were a lot of the type-ins from Rainbow.
I do remember the TDP 100 bundled Bust Out too, with joysticks actually as a bundle too. So that was a popular one for bundles.
Tim Linder says Math Bingo was his first one. AC's 8-Bit Zone says Popcorn. It came with his Coco 1. Mark Bosley.
I honestly don't remember.
Okay.
You get a demerit mark for that.
They say memory is the first thing to go, and what was the second one? Nick Marotta.
I cannot remember what it was called. It's not. I looked for it in Curtis's site and I cannot find it. It was some sort of a space shooter, very similar in concept to like Galaxians, but I remember the aliens were kind of roundish or something, and I cannot remember what it was called. It was one of the first games I remember playing.
That was the roundish aliens attack game. I remember.
Yeah,
that.
Exactly.
Good game. Yeah.
It was third party, or was it?
Yeah. I think the formations were somewhat. There were like 3 or 4 different formations that go in, and one of them might have been, or the round I'm thinking of might have been the formation. Like they appeared like as a couple of circles of aliens. And I can't remember what it's called though.
I'm trying to think what that would be. I'm like, there's a ton of Galaxian clones. Yeah, Glaxons and Glax Attacks, Galactic Attack.
I thought it was called Gazon.
Space Hawk.
That was a totally different game. That wasn't what the game I was thinking of.
No, the Gazon was what that Cobalt thing was doing with the dangling wrist there a little while ago. So it's
So yeah, I just cannot remember what it was called.
I'm gazing upon you.
There's a Galaxon and Galaxon.
Glaxoff.
Yeah, I'm trying to think what other ones there could be there, because I don't have all the Galaxian clones on my site yet. There's a few I know that are missing, but I'm trying to think of ones with circular aliens.
I think it was the formation that was circular. Like there's like 3 or 4 different formations that come in.
Did we have a Gyrus clone on the Coco?
Refresh me what Gyrus is?
Gyrus is where the aliens are spinning around the planet in the middle, where there is a circular formation where
like star castles type of thing, or
no. Gyrus had like a planet in the middle of the screen, and
there was like 3 warps to Uranus, right?
Yeah. I'm not sure how many to get to Uranus, but mine has got there's a considerable.
It There's like 3
Yeah,
warp
leave
spots.
There is a considerable barrier to entry.
If I saw a screenshot of it.
I think you're working your way towards Earth. There's say 3 warps.
You can turn off the show now.
Yes.
What a
I
load
think
of
that's
crap.
your new
Yeah,
item
'cause you-
album title,
Planet.
isn't it?
It's a planet. What do you want me to do?
Yeah.
Ask Ron. He'll tell you.
That's why astronomers pronounce it Uranus, not Uranus.
That's not even better.
Okay.
Anyway.
So we did hear from Nick Marotta. Nick says it's a game that was roundy, alien-y type game. Good.
Obviously, it really stuck out to him because he remembers it so clearly.
Alan Murphy.
So, my first Coco was just color basic, and I had no cassette or ROM packs or anything like that. But a guy named David All published a book of basic programs in the late 70s, and I had a copy of that from a library. So my first games were those that came out of that basic games book. And I'd have to type them in each time, and I'd leave my computer on as much as possible. And my dad would get torqued off at how much electricity I was wasting, that $1 a year or whatever the Coco uses. So he'd come in and turn it off all the time, and I had to turn it back on, type in the program again the next time. The first commercial or available games that I got was for my birthday when it came out. I got Zaxxon on tape along with a cassette. And then shortly after that, I got Dungeons of Daggerath and Never Looked Back.
Yay.
I forgot to mention, actually, the type in. Like, I had the same situation. I didn't get a cassette deck for about 6 to 8 months, I think, after I got my original 4K Coco. So I was doing it out of the basic manual.
Yeah.
And the blackjack game in the manual actually was not bad for 4K.
Yeah, and the one where the guy, you made the face and the eyes blinked and stuff like that. That was kind of cool.
Or Russian roulette.
Yeah.
Bang, you're dead.
Yeah, that would actually probably be it for me then, too. Getting started with color basic.
Yeah, that's probably my first stuff, too. Yeah, although I did.
That's mine on there.
Yeah. Cool. Thank you, Alan. And then next we have Nick Marentes. What was your first Coco gaming experience?
I don't know if I actually ever bought a game or anything from Tandy. I think the first cartridge I bought from Tandy was the Edtasm ROM pack. And I started programming.
That one.
That's a game, yeah. Well, yeah, you could call it that, but that was the first thing I bought. I think I did buy some third-party software from some local supplier, but I can't remember. It was a Tom Mix game of some sort, but I don't know which one it was. When I got to Coco 3, though, the first game I did buy was Thexter.
Much to your disappointment, right?
It was when I got to the top end level and found it didn't end.
Yeah. So in the live chat, we had Tim Linder said Math Bingo was his. Ken Record says I bought Project Nebula with birthday money. I think Jim Rye says Galactic Attack. Michael Pitsley, after getting bored of Bust Out, I got a new game called Madness in the Minotaur. With these games, I almost never wanted to play games on the Coco again. Yeah, those are the two worst possible games, right? Demon Attack was AC's 8-bit zone. Demon Attack. I bought Madness 2 and regretted it. Galax Attack from Amigos. Brokeback Coco from Scott Cooper. Brokeback Coco. Okay.
I think that's a joke
yes,
answer.
Somewhere in there. Yes. All right. And Ken, did you include the Donut Dilemma? Okay, so I was asking about that. All right. So then we did Nick Marentes. Rick Euland.
Well, I didn't buy games for a long time. I finally bought Downland, and to give you an indication of my gaming skills, I still haven't finished it. But yeah,
welcome to the club.
Yeah, Tony Jacques says Double Back. Yeah, Double Back I had on. Yeah, it wasn't the first thing I had, but one of my most favorite ones, memorable ones. Yeah. Ron Delvaux.
Yes, well, actually, my first Coco would have been a MC10, and the pinball game is the first game I got.
Oh, Lost Valley.
Yeah. Yeah,
Lost World or whatever.
That would be the first one, but the actual one on the color computer was I typed it. I had my first Coco was a Coco 1 with a multi-pack and a TV and a disk drive, and I had stuff, but I actually typed one in, and that was the one that you guys were talking about, the kaleidoscope one, or no, it's on there. I got it. If you scroll, I put it on there. It was right from the book.
Okay. Was it the talking robot face or?
Nope.
There was
the kaleidoscope.
Kaleidoscope.
Okay.
Or
yeah, I remember there was another one.
I think I remember that one too. Yeah.
Yeah.
It kind of did the
scroll. If you scroll down enough, I have an answer on there.
Okay. And there was another one in the basic book I remember that was using mid strings to shift stuff, and it made it look like traffic jams were going across.
Yeah, William Volk in the chat on Facebook says the one I wrote, Voyager 1, which is Travel on Hill.
That's funny.
There it is.
There it is. A game from the book. Blackjack.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep, that's the one I remember typing in because that was the one I left the machine on for 2 weeks.
Yeah. Who else have we not talked to yet? We have not talked to Brian Weasler.
I'm kind of in the same boat where I don't exactly remember the first game that I had. Actually, with my experience with the Coco was, if you want to call it a ROM pack, would be this guy here.
What is that?
The old 300 baud DC modem there. So that was the first thing I ever bought once I got my Coco and plugged it in and started hitting BBSs rather than playing any games. So I was more of a utility guy, but I really don't remember the first game that I got. So, but
Frodo says Lunar Rover Patrol was his. Good game. Yeah. That was
Brian. Stooges fan mentions Draconian too.
Yeah. Good game. Who else did we not hear from? We heard Ricky Lynn Rondeau. Chet Simpson.
Oh, well, let's see. The first game that I played on a Coco would have been Color Cube, and that was Radio Shack. That was actually on an old, that would have been, maybe a D-board. It was a gray case Coco. The first games that I got was I got Zaxxon, Daggerath, and Marathon because the salesman at Radio Shack gave me a cassette with that on it because he'd already typed it in, and I was like, awesome. So I got to play that game, and that's why I said that game is great. I love that for being in a magazine. That was a really good game. In fact, I spent more time playing that than the other two at first, and then I got caught on to Daggerath, and that was great. I just got lost into that.
Very cool. We got Nick Marentes, Mark Overholzer, if you're not muted, and if not, then it would be Paul T. Barton. So, and then I think that's the panel. Paul Barton, do you remember playing any Coco games? And what your first?
Oh
one
yeah,
was?
My first Coco was given to me. I think it was a 1, and we converted it to. That was when I worked at Tektronix, Tech Labs, and we converted it to 64K. I had to cut up everything on it. But I think the first cartridge I bought was Galactic Attack, and I hated that game. And then I found a game in Rainbow magazine called Trap'em, TREP''EM. You had to type in all the hex code.
Oh, wow.
And it was basically, you had a little spider that walked around, and you boxed it in until it couldn't move. And I have yet to find that game again. I'd like to have that one back.
Ah, neat. Cool. And then I'm
Could
not
be
sure
one of the Rainbow on discs if it's from Rainbow.
Yeah.
So
I don't know if I don't know if is Mark Overholzer still here? We did. I'm not sure if Mark is muted, if he's on the road. But yeah, no, that's it. That's a pretty good discussion. Looks like it's got a lot of meat on it here on Facebook as people were chiming in. Chris Neary says Edtasm. That was Nick Marentes' answer too, right? So.
Yeah, there's been a few of those actually.
Yeah. Cool.
King Tut there's another one. I remember playing one, but no, that was.
Yeah, I ended up getting a handful of the cartridges, but the tapes were cheaper, right? So the tape was like $14 to buy the tape, and the cartridges were like $30-$40. So.
Where you play that while you listen to Steve Martin.
Did anybody actually say? Forget. Gone. Metal Blade. Sorry.
No one said that.
I'll come back.
All right. Cool. Good question. Good question posted by Chad Edward, one of Nick Marentes' neighbors in Australia.
Yep. Discussion's still going on too. There's been additions to the commentary on Facebook on that subject even today it's still going on. So feel free to contribute on the quote unquote official list.
Did anybody say Color Scripts It? That's what
Color
I was
Scripts
gonna
It, yes.
say. They did.
Yeah.
Not anybody who's still sane, which even covers Mikey then. So
Yeah.
That's right.
All right, what's next? In the Game On News, L. Curtis Boyle.
All right, next up, Carl Doherty actually had a pretty cool thing here going too. He posted about getting the Birkenberg port of Cyrus Chess, which is pictured here, which is on EOU if you want to fiddle around with it there too as well, which is a Coco 3 Eyes version of the Cyrus Chess program. But he decided to put it up against one of those electronic chess boards and actually had them play each other.
Okay.
And Cyrus Chess beat it pretty handedly, from what I understand, at least on the first round. And there you can kind of see the two facing off.
So
and
you put a quarter in the battery every time you lose.
He's got a battery bank there. Right, so.
And then somebody mentioned the mouse pad.
Yeah, the Radio Shack mouse pad looks pretty good with the old.
Yeah, and the original color mouse, the one button.
I'm sorry, Curtis. I couldn't help myself.
Yeah, I know. You always do that. But the one interesting thing is he's suggesting that maybe the next time we actually have a Coco Fest or something is maybe getting some of the several different programs, because there's a bazillion chess programs for the Coco, and actually pit them against each other and see.
There was one a couple years ago. I think one of the guys from Glenside had a model
3 or something.
Model 3 going against Color Chess or something like that. So
yeah, I do know the original chess cartridge is not very smart. Cyrus is better, but there's other ones like SG Chess and Cyrus and a few others too. There's multiple ones there. It'd be interesting to see which one plays the best and which one's the most competitive, and also which one doesn't take like 15 minutes to make a single move type thing. So
yeah.
Wasn't there was there somebody that had put two Cocos against each other, chess to chess or something like that? I'm trying to remember. Or am I thinking of a different
like the same program, or just two different?
Yeah, I thought there was somebody did something one time where they somehow rigged up something to get them playing against each other or something. Or am I thinking of a different game?
There might have been. That kind of sounds vaguely familiar.
Okay, that thought popped in my head.
Michael Pitsley in the chat is mentioning he has done this test: Cyprus versus Cart Chess, and even the N64 chess. Michael, just post which one won, or was it handedly or barely or?
Okay, Frodo's saying you should try Cyrus Chess on the Coco versus Cyrus Chess on the Specky.
Yeah, they were programmed by the same company, so that would be an interesting thing to see. I mean, if the algorithm's exactly the same, it should be pretty close to a draw, I'd imagine. But
here's a Can Make It game here, huh?
Yeah, Ken actually posted up a video. I must have been all my whining about the fact his itch.io doesn't have any screenshots. He's fixed that. There's screenshots of the actual game in play now. Now he's even starting to do videos. So.
He's got to do something to placate the whiny Canadians that are out there.
Exactly.
So, yeah. Okay.
Yeah, put up videos, eh?
Eh?
So anyway, who has not seen this game, I might as well give you a quick preview. So
Interplan. Does this have? Oh, look at this.
Incredible.
Ah, so kind of like a snaky type thing, snake game where you have to.
Yep, you have to avoid the stars and the planet, I think, as well, and try to collect all the trash, which is the squares.
Okay. Ken says anything for Lord Curtis Boyle.
Well, at least he's addressing me by my proper titles, so
that's pretty cool. Pretty cool. Look at that.
Anyway, Ken's got a ton of his old games now up in itch.io. They're all on the shareware, bagware type of thing.
Yeah, and they're also available if you were to get the Nightmare Highway Coco Fest edition as bonus material.
Alleged bonus.
Alleged bonus. Yeah.
Actually, has some pretty cool things there. The one I had not seen before that I remember seeing in 6 to 8 Micros, World of 6 to 8 Micros, which was kind of the successor to Rainbow, by Frank Swigert, is he did a version of the parachute jump program from the old Atari video game where you actually jump and you have to wind and stuff. You have to try to land on a small landing pad and you have to wait till the last minute to throw your chute and stuff there. So
from the mind of Ken Reichert.
And there's just a sample of one of his pages, in this case the same game here of itch.io, name your own price.
Screenshot and video, which is Curtis Boyle approved at this point. So
Yep. This is a proper ad for a game now, so I'm glad he finally listened to reason. And... I was going to
Okay.
mention before he did this, you want to see a properly done one, look at Chet's version of Digger 3 there, because he's got videos and screenshots and a whole bunch of things there. But Ken's catching up. So
All right, listen.
but he's got a ton. I think he's got like over half a dozen games on there already now.
You're a difficult man to please, Curtis.
Yeah, I am.
All right. What do we got? Simon Jonason.
Oh, just kidding. Yeah, Simon did another update. This is for the upcoming game he's working on using hardware scrolling. So in this case, he's actually got some of the vertical movement, and he kind of goes into the technical details here that he's using a virtual horizontal enabled screen. So it's taking 56K just for the screen. So you have to swap out stuff to get your shapes and get the code running and stuff too. So kind of getting into the technical explanations here. Now I'm going to try full screening this. Let me know if this works, because half the time Facebook breaks when I do this.
Okay,
Are you still seeing it?
We see it, but it's not moving. Yep. Hit the play button. Now see if it'll play.
It's playing. You're
no,
not
it's
seeing
not
it
playing for us now. The guy looks like he's got a purple afro. But no, it's not playing.
I hate Facebook. Is it playing now?
Yeah, it's playing now. Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
No collision detection, obviously.
Yeah. But it is scrolling.
Soon to be coming, though, I'll bet.
Yep. And then, like Simon's mentioned many times, he's never actually fully done a game before, so this is kind of new territory for him. He's done demos, showing off, different techniques, etc. But writing a game's a whole different kettle of fish. I think, Chet, you even commented on that when you're planning to write a game, you have to take a different mindset than you would for just a demo, including like when do you start doing optimizations? Well, you don't do them right off the start here unless it's absolutely necessary to get the game to even work.
Yeah, it can be critical, especially if you're not, kind of familiar with the landscape that you're working in. You're working with something that requires a little bit more of a dynamic approach to it, because you've got multiple characters. You've got to be able to process them, and you don't want to do things like duplicate code, because that stuff will make it grow. So when you get into that territory and you get and you're not sure which direction you may be going, 2 weeks from now, it's it's pretty important to get that stuff kind of locked down.
Yeah. A lot of pre-design work, basically, on how the engine has to work.
Yeah, I mean, you'll hear all the time, people mention like graph paper and stuff. That all comes down to the planning, where you've got an idea of where you want to go. You just got to kind of figure out how you want to get there, and you don't necessarily have to plan like everything out in a great amount of detail, but having at least a few checkpoints to say, I want to have movement done by here, I've got these things, so it gets you kind of thinking about what you might have to deal with in the future, because you're starting with point A and you want to get to point B, and there's all kinds of things that are going to get your way along along that journey. So it's pretty important to know where you're going.
Yeah. And since Chet's actively involved in the chat here, we'll do his next. So there's a couple pages here, because you initially said you were starting to try to reverse engineer all your old code that you'd lost, which included Digger 1, Image Master, etc. And then you started working on, then you discovered that, and I've seen this in even commercial stuff that was sold too, where EdTasm would leave parts of the source code had processed in its buffer when people saved it out to disk or tape. Chunks of the little bits of the original source code were still in there.
Mm-hmm.
And you found that in Digger 1 using, I think it was Circomp's EdTasm 3 used?
Yeah, and actually it was kind of a combination between EdTasm 3 and the way that I was building the image on disk, because this particular version is missing the sounds. So the area in memory that this would have resided in the sounds, I never updated the image maker to account for that. So it just wrote out all of the entirety of memory from hex 1000 to hex 7000. So when those sounds were out, so what happens is when I go through and I built the image, I'd build it in EdTasm 3 from Circomp, do a reset, and then run the program and do it. Well, the start of the buffer, the text buffer for EdTasm 3 was within that region of memory. So and there was a significant amount of source code in there, a few K worth. And so I was able to get a really good starting point from that. I mean, it had all the labels for global variables. It had some a fair chunk for handling the player movement. Of course, there was a lot that was missing in between that, because